Edition of the Art Lewis Show. Coming up later on after the 10 o'clock news, we'll talk to Tony Stamas from the Midland Business Alliance. At 11 o'clock, we'll learn about Farmers Insurance District 7 on Focus. For the first part of this hour, we're going to head north to something called the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival, and then we'll have open phones, time permitting. And to tell us about the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival this morning, we say good morning to Mary Santala. Mary, good morning to you.
Good morning to you also, Art.
Thanks for joining us this morning. So I must admit, when I saw the note come across my desk that we were going to talk about the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival, I had not a vague idea of what it was all about until I looked it up. So give us an idea what the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival is all about and how long it's been around.
Okay, so this is our fourth year, and I will admit we're still working on it, but our first year was spent a lot of times telling people, no, it has nothing to do with dietary fiber, nor does it have anything to do with fiber optics. That it's all about spinning and weaving and, fiber art.
So yarn, in other words, then if you will.
Yes. Yarn and, yarn, natural, and we try to stick with the natural as much as we can.
Might have been easier to call it the Northern Michigan Yarn Festival. So anyway, Let's start with the basics. When is it?
It is coming up. It is always the last full weekend, September. This year, that happens to be the 27th and 28th. On a Friday and a Saturday. And actually, so it goes, to some people, it may start on Friday because they take classes. We offer classes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but the actual festival with the vendors is on Saturday and Sunday.
And where is this held?
It's in Alpena at the Aplex, which is a very large conference type center. We are in a tennis court, which makes it nice and open and airy, and it's all indoors. So the tennis courts, when you first come in the front door of the Aplex, you veer off to the right, and it's like a whole new world in there.
So, when we say vendors, tell us what these vendors have for us.
They have, you're going to see yarn, you're going to see wool in the roving form, which is kind of like it's a clean rope type, but it's loose fibers that you spin from. You're going to find raw fleeces. As they come off the sheep, they've been slightly spurted, which means the dung has been pulled away and the second cuts, fibers that you wouldn't want to work with. You're going to find tools that you can work with that. So spinning wheels, drop spindles, carders, equipment to help you process it yourself if you so decide that that's what you want to do. If you don't want to do any of that and just appreciate a finished product, we have that also.
And the cost to get in?
Is free. We work really hard to
nice.
Not have to charge people to get in. That was one of the big things that, we work for, because I guess I'm kind of thinking on a personal level. I get out and I try to promote the festival as much as I can. And I have a hard time asking people to, come see me, but I want you to pay for it first.
Yeah.
So it's free to you when you come in. You do not have to pay an entrance fee.
So you mentioned classes, and I noticed online there's a bunch. I mean, a bunch.
They are, and they're
12,
they're
15,
very
18.
There are 20
21,
classes.
20. Yeah. Wow. 26 classes. Now, they all have a cost to them because there's materials involved and all that good stuff.
To pay the teachers, because some of them come from quite a distance. And then, of course, there's materials included in that. But the cost are minimal compared to what you could pay elsewhere.
Do you have to pre-register for those, or can you do it on site?
Absolutely. There are a couple of classes that you can come in, and the teacher will have the supplies in anticipation, but pre-registration is necessary. I believe the 21st is the last day to register.
And how do you do that?
You can go online and get the form. You can't pay for it online, so we're just not set up for that. You can copy or print it off and then mail it in to us. Actually, that's the only way I know how to do it. There is a number we can. We have a person in charge of the classes, so she keeps track of when the classes are full and for seating and such.
Yeah.
So contact me. That's online, and then we can direct you out to where you need to be.
And for those interested, if you go to fiberfestival.net and look at 2025 classes, each class says view schedule. If you click on that, it will then take you to the page where you would book your class.
Yes, thank you. I am not very versed on the internet. I'm the first to admit.
I'm not either. I just looked at it. I just happened to be here, so here I am. It's not my thing either,
Well,
I'll tell you. It's, this technological age, which is interesting we say that, because in this technological age, we're talking about computers and everything and how to sign up for what is anything but technological, but old hand skills.
Absolutely, yes.
Old hand skills.
I will have to admit, when we were going through here in northern Michigan the ice storm and being out of power, I happened to be fortunate enough to have a wood cook stove, and I sat next to that and spun, and I thought, you know what? I don't need electricity for either one of these. And yeah, I still live in, the modern world, and when I'm fighting with my laptop, I think, my spinning wheel doesn't do this to me.
Yeah.
It is. The fiber arts is a very peaceful type of art.
Is it?
I do have a friend that has an electric wheel, and she can either plug it in or work with it from a battery, and she does beautiful yarns, but I'm not sure that type is for me. But there are people that, oh, wow. In fact, her husband walked past her after she was not sure she should show him that she had bought another toy. And he looked at that, and she wasn't sure what he was going to say, and he said, well, that's the smartest thing I've seen.
I have a question, though, because I'm looking over all of these classes, and to me, maybe it's just me, there's a striking absence. I don't see a class on quilting. Is quilting not part of the Fiber Festival?
Well, not really. Quilting is an art kind of by itself, and it deals more with the fabric. Weaving makes fabric.
So you're dealing with the prime instrument of making things, and that's the material, the strands, if you will.
Mm-hmm. What you do before you would even make a quilt.
Right. Right.
With the fabric. But since you're talking about quilts, we do have one that was made for us that we raffle off, and it is cheap. It has sheep on it. It's beautiful. And last year we had one that we raffled off, and it had llamas on it. The raffle money, or the money that we proceeds for that, because you don't normally think, oh, fiber and quilts, but it is a way for us to have a finished product that people can buy a ticket, and we are raising money for education of art.
Yeah.
So we were looking at an artist in residence, but that's down the line. But you got to start someplace, and so that's where we are right now.
So, folks, if you go online to fiberfestival.net, you will find all kinds of information about the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival that runs the last weekend of the month in September, and this is the fourth year for it. No charge to get in. There are charges for the classes, but you can find out all about that online. And how long have you been at this, Mary?
I was from the very beginning. There used to be a fiber festival in West Branch, and that lady that put that together did it for 25 years and then finally just said, I need to step down, and no one there wanted to take it over. So we changed the name slightly, moved it to Alpena, and it's kind of a continuation. We didn't get to really pick the weekend that we were going to have it because the vendors told us there's like a circuit, and that was the available weekend.
Oh, very good. Well, we wish you well with it, and we hope lots of people come out to the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival, 27th, 28th of the month in Alpena. And Mary, good luck with it.
Well, thank you very much. There's so much for people to see. I'm looking forward to seeing people just to see their eyes when they walk in. It's like, man, I don't expect this.
Well, that's great. That is wonderful. I mean, it's going back to the basics, isn't it?
Yes. Now, speaking of basics, we have what's called, and we don't do this every year, this is our second one, Ask the Vet Small Ruminant. So it actually goes to the care of the animal that you would get the fiber from. And that is also a free program. We teamed up with Michigan Sheep Producers Association, and we have 3 vets and 1 MSU Extension specialist, all that pertain to small ruminants. It's you can ask your question. You're going to write that down. We have Alpena FFA members that are going to help monitor. What do you call that? They're going to take your question and they're going to pass it along to
moderate,
where it needs to be.
Yeah.
Moderate. Thank you. That's the word I was trying to spit out.
So basically, it's from sheep. It's from sheep to yarn.
Basically, yes.
Excellent.
And actually even beyond the yarn.
Very good.
And color. It's the color. We also have demonstrations. We have an area where some of us have more than one wheel, and we've brought them in so that people can actually, if you've always wanted to try spinning, you can sit and give it a shot.
Very good. 27th, 28th in Alpena, the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival. Well, Mary, good luck with it, and happy spinning.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
No problem. Do it again. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Mary Santella from the Northern Michigan Fiber Festival. We'll have open phones for the remainder of the hour, 989-752-6111. Again, 989-752-6111. Get you on with me.
Gotta go.
All right, we're back with you here on the Art Lewis Show. Just a note from our previous discussion about the Fiber Festival in Alpena. Caller says they can accept online payment for the classes, and they're all listed online there, fiberfestival.net. All right, open phones for the remainder of the hour, 989-752-6111. There is a new poll, and I don't think we needed a poll for this. I think we could have guessed it. But the poll finds Americans are worried about political violence after Charlie Kirk's assassination. And this poll, conducted between September 12th and 14th, found that 63% of all adults believe the way Americans talk about politics has done a lot to encourage violence. Only 31% believe it's done a little. 5% believe it's done nothing. I don't know where they are. These figures are similar across party lines, and this is the interesting part. 63% of Republicans, 70% of Democrats, 61% of independents believe the way Americans talk about politics has done a lot to encourage violence, according to this poll. I'm not surprised. How long have we been saying, that social media and the mainstream and parties themselves have been using, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been sending messages that can be insightful, let's put it that way, inciting people to do things they might not normally do otherwise. And I certainly do not know the answer. I blame a lot of it on social media. Say what you want anytime you want. People pick up on it, they follow it, and people, unfortunately, have a tendency to only listen to those with whom they agree. And that goes through social media. You seek out those people who are saying what you want to hear. That's why certain talk shows do well, certain networks do well, because that audience wants to hear what they have to say, and for the most part, don't bother with anybody else. And if that particular point of view offers in language that could incite you to do things that you wouldn't normally do, that's all you're going to hear. And given in this day and age, some people have a frame of mind which is susceptible, shall we say, to negative influence. So I'm not surprised that this poll finds us wanting or worried about the way we're conducting politics in this country. It's a shame we've gotten there. And it's a shame it takes something like the assassination of someone as popular as Charlie Kirk was to all of a sudden raise the American conscience. It truly is. Let's talk to Dwayne in Reese. Dwayne, good morning.
Good morning. Would you happen to have the phone number for Amos O'Neill and Matt Bierlein?
I don't have their personal numbers, and if I did, I'm afraid I wouldn't give them to you.
I'm talking their Lansing phone numbers or whatever, okay?
I might be able to find it if you hang on a second here. Let's see. I know I have it in my card file, but I don't have my card file with me. All right, let's see. Matthew Bierlein. Got to be a number on here someplace, I would think. Okay, Matthew Bierlein's office number. You ready?
Yes.
517-373-8962.
Okay.
And you said Amos?
Yes, Amos O'Neill.
Let me see if I can find that one for you. Hang on a second here.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Amos O'Neill. And Amos's number, if I can find it, is 517
Yeah.
373 0837.
0837. Okay.
There you go.
That guy that got assassinated, I've never heard of him before.
Well,
I'm not the only one. I talked to other people.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't, but
that's because his main appeal was to a younger population, 30 and under. But he was well known. He was well known.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you very much there, Art.
You bet. Bye-bye, Dwayne. Bye-bye. 989-752-6111. I talked to a number of folks my age and a little younger, too. I mean, I'm 82. who had not heard of Charlie Kirk. But that wasn't his audience. He really was talking to a younger generation, a younger population. All right, let's take a break, and then we will be back. Let me talk about our friends at Quick Lane Freeland and McDonald Ford. Two things I want to tell you. First, and we heard this report too, pollen, ragweed, all of those things have been prevalent. So allergies have been prevalent. And Quick Lane has something they can put in your car's air conditioning system so that you drive healthy without allergic reactions. It's called FrigiFresh. Here's John.
FrigiFresh. Hi.
Studios. You are listening to 100.5 FM and 790 AM. And from Stormmaster Exteriors, you are listening online at WSGW.com.
Hi, we're back with you here on WSGW. If you haven't noticed, the clock is ticking toward a potential government shutdown. Matter of fact, the one I'm looking at is Washington, D.C., the national budget, but here in the state of Michigan, we're not in any better shape. We're heading in the same direction. And what's happened is Republicans have introduced a short-term funding measure. They did that yesterday. That would keep the government open until just before Thanksgiving at current funding levels. But it does nothing to address the Democrats' concerns. They call it a looming health care crisis, talking about Medicare cuts, Affordable Care Act subsidies, and they refuse to strike any kind of funding deal unless those issues are addressed, to which the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, said, "Zero chance we'll do that." So, can you say stalemate? Well, that's what we're facing. Republicans don't want to work with the Democrats on these particular issues. They've inserted them into the budget, and they're going to leave them there. It's going to be interesting to see how this resolves. I mean, we get these continuing resolutions. All they do is, they kick it down the road. What we need to do is take the leaders in Congress, lock them in a room, don't give them anything but bread and water, and say you can't come out until you come up with a solution. I am so tired of the political gamesmanship on both sides. Now, each will tell you they're doing it in the interest of the country, and I understand that. There are different views as to how the country should operate. But if you are of the mindset that only your side has the right answers, I got news for you. There's answers on both sides, and the reality lies in the middle as a compromise. And that's what we need. Because guess what? We wouldn't be sitting here today as an independent nation if it were for not compromise. Our founding fathers were a diverse group of people who didn't agree on a whole lot, but they knew they had to compromise in order to get this nation off its feet, on its feet, I should say, and break away from the British control. So they sat down. Yeah, they argued. Yeah, they debated. But in the end, they decided. And they did it with compromise. Compromise really, when you think about it, is how the world works. Most things are a compromise. You take the good ideas from one side, the good ideas from the other side, you put them together, and you move ahead. We're not seeing a lot of that. Not a lot at all. Quick break. We'll get back to our phones when we return. All right, we're back with you. Time to get back to the phones, and we have Carol and Sheridan with us. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning, Art. Hey, the lady called from Alpena.
Yes.
If people have not been to Alpena, it's a really, really cool place. I think there's a glass bottom boat, but we don't go for things that are expensive. They have a wonderful museum called Bessemer. It was a big port town at one time.
Yeah.
And there's a quarry, a stone quarry. There's a Hunt State Park where you can go through and find all kinds of fossils. If you got your state park sticker, you know, you can go in there for free. It's really, 100 acres or so. It's huge. And then the museum, and I think they made brooms, all kinds of brooms. I think there was a car made there. But it's a really cool, pretty town to visit.
Yeah, it is. I've been up there.
Been to Alpena.
Been there a couple of times, and you're absolutely right. It is. And this festival, I mean, this sounds something like right up your alley. I mean, you know, spinning yarn and all of that good stuff.
Well, I never done that. I never got, my mother crocheted. My dad never figured out how she could watch TV and crochet. but I sewed, and I sewed almost all of our kids' clothes and my clothes and things. But now you can pick them up for a yard sale at a quarter, so I couldn't.
Yeah. I just wonder if we're losing the ability to do some of those old, wonderful crafts.
Well, I don't know if they're really old either. I mean, they've
been around forever.
Things, but I think the yarn things are quite hot, you know, to do, and even, you know, in teaching crochet, a lot of men like to crochet and knit and things like that. It's a kind of a different world, but I don't know. Like I said, I sewed so much I didn't take it up, but I know a lot of people really enjoy it. But it's
all right.
It's a fun town. If people haven't been up there, that'd be a pretty ride, you know, along the lake.
Oh, absolutely.
Find Alpena instead of going so darn far. So.
Very good.
Well, it's quite a ride.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Take care, you guys.
Thanks, Carol. Bye-bye. And we'll talk to Mark in Midland. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
Hey, I have an app on my phone, Instagram, and then I also have Threads, which is another app. I get a ton of foreign news that comes through there, as far as over in Iraq and in Russia, and a lot of Russia stuff, Sergei Lavrov. My question is I know ahead of time when an attack's going to happen, where it's going to happen, before the media over here puts it out. Am I held accountable since I would know ahead of time on the attacks? And the only reason why I mention that is that shooter that just killed Charlie Kirk. Everybody is going after the media on who knew what and when. But a lot of stuff comes through the apps that I can see that are going to be horrible that happen. But am I responsible to report that? And
no.
Everybody out there gets the same thing that I get.
Yeah, no, it's a public app. It's a public app on your phone. Whether it's reliable or not or anything else, I can't tell you. But no, you're not. You're looking at it. That's all. I mean, you know, if you had real questions about it and you wanted to call somebody, nobody's going to stop you from doing it. But nobody's going to hold you responsible if you don't.
Yeah, well, like the drone attacks, you can actually see that stuff a day ahead of time when they're taking off and where they're taking off. You know, you just see a lot of more news. In-depth news. And
well, I got news for you. If you can see it, the people receiving those drone attacks can see it too. They know they're coming.
Well, and maybe that's why there's not as many casualties as.
That's why they have those iron domes, so to speak. So I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, you do see a lot of Russia talks before the negotiations. Like they talk a lot about the negotiations on there. China, I get a lot of news from China on how those negotiations. China doesn't like to do long-term commitments. Their goal is to always do a short-term commitment on agreements and then renegotiate.
Yeah.
But that's their